All right, today we're going to be discussing scale models and maps. Up to this point, we've talked a lot about proportions and how to use those proportions, unit rates, and ratios to solve for unknowns or to just use them in regular life, including yesterday when we talked about dilations. Those are also proportions and how they, in the sense that they go larger and smaller. All right, but today what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be talking about something called scale models. A scale model is similar to the actual model it represents, and the scale of that is the ratio of the length of the model to the corresponding length of the actual model. So for example, we could think of a toy car, um, or a model car. Those are models of actual cars that are out on the market, and so we can use those. Another example would be of um, maybe a map. Okay, map would be a very important scale model because obviously the roads we're looking at when we're looking at like a Google map or whatever is not going to show the exact it's not the actual length of how far it has to go, it's just showing you a model of it. All right, so we can actually use proportions to solve these problems. So for example, we have the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago has a scale model of a human heart that is large enough for people to walk through. The height of the scale model is 16 feet. The scale used is 1 foot for every 9 32 inches. What is the height of the actual heart on which the model is designed? So in this case, we have to set up a proportion. So we are given at least one ratio right away that's very obvious, and it is the scale that is used. So we have 1 foot for every 9 and 30 of an inch. All right, so we know that our scale model is 16 feet, but we know that an actual human heart is not 16 feet tall. All right, so we would put 16 feet because the 16 feet corresponds with the feet on the top of our other ratio. And then under here we would have, let's just say H is our unknown. All right, so from here we can use proportions to solve this, or we can use cross multiplying, which would be the more accurate thing. So we could actually go through and we can, as I say, put this proportion flat. So I can say 1 times H equals 16 times 9 over 32. All right, so I just cross multiplied. Okay, so from here I can actually solve. Now this looks a little daunting to solve, but I'm just going to do some reducing to make my multiplying of my fractions easier. So I'm going to take my 16 and I'm going to say that's equal to 1, and that my 32 is equal to 2 because 16 goes into 32 twice. All right, and then that makes my problem a lot easier. So then I have H. 1H is the same as H, as you know. And we have 9 over 2. So this is telling us that the height is 4. If I were to put this into an actual mixed number, 4 1/2 inches. And that is the actual height of a human heart. All right. So what we did is we used a scale model and used proportions to solve that scale model. All right, so When would you actually use scale models outside of math class? Well, we can actually use scale models when we're talking about maps. I don't have a picture of a map right now, but what I'd like you to do is research a map online. I know you guys all have the internet on your phones, iPads, laptops, computers, Kindles. I can keep going, but I won't. What I'd like you to do for your whisk tonight is actually find a map for me and include the scale model of what the map is. For example, a lot of times it will say in the corner, it'll say like key. All right, and it will tell you that for every 1 inch on the map, it is representing 75 miles. All right, so what I'd like you to do is go on the internet, find a map, or pull a map out of your junk drawer at home, because I'm sure your parents have one. Look for the key. Write down what that write down what that scale model looks like. All right, so if you have any other questions about scale models or maps, please let me know. We will work some more with them tomorrow. Otherwise, what I'd like you to do is make sure you get that assignment done as well as write your paragraph and bring any questions to class that you may have.